At the end of this video, I'll show you the view up here. I'm Luca, Chief Engineer at Starboard. This is Spirit of Falmouth, our Mersey pilot cutter. Come with me and have a look round. Spirit of Falmouth is a replica of a Mersey pilot cutter built in 1985. First place to look, the Doghouse. So we always recommend going down these stairs backwards. Welcome to the Doghouse. This is where we all like to seek refuge when the weather's not so nice. This is also the command centre for Spirit of Falmouth. Here you see we have a chart plotter, and that's got all of our AIS and navigational information. We've also got a VHF radio, which is DSC, digital selective cooling. Press one button if you're in distress and the Coast Guard will know exactly where you are. So not only have we got digital charts on our chart plotter, we also sometimes use good old paper charts. Let's have a look and see if there's anything on for lunch. Unfortunately no one's here today, so there's nothing on for lunch. It's a large galley, we can cater for up to 18 people. That's 12 guests and 6 crew. We've got 2 large fridges, a big sink, big 4-burner hob and an oven. We've even got a microwave and a toaster, but they only work when we're attached to shore power. So a big part of what we do is reintegrating people into a team again. And a big part of that is eating together. However, we sometimes recognise that people need their own space, and that's fine. Space is always at a bit of a premium on board, but the skipper always gets his own cabin. Let's have a cheeky look. It's lovely and spacious in here, but I don't know about you, I prefer being out there with the team. So this is our saloon space. This is where we gather to eat meals. Not only eat meals, play cards, do navigation lessons, and generally just socialise with the crew. So let's go have a look at the accommodation where some of our crew and guests sleep. Heads first, I hope they're clean. So we've got manual flushing heads, and we've even got a hot shower. Let's have a little look where everyone sleeps. It's a bit cramped as you can see, however that's all part of the experience at sea. Through there we've got the chain locker, that's where all the chain is stored when the anchor's up. This is inside the chain locker. Here we have nearly 160 metres of chain. Interestingly enough, not many people know, when a boat is anchored, it's actually the chain that's holding the boat steady rather than the anchor. So we normally put out about 5:1 scope, which is 5 times the length of the water depth of chain. That's all of inside, apart from the engine spaces. Let's go have a look at that. Being the chief engineer, this is my favourite space. I basically live in here. So this is our main engine on board Spirit of Falmouth. It's a Ford Genesis 7.5 litre marinised diesel engine made by Mermaid Marine. So I come in here, I do regular hourly checks on the engine, make sure everything's right with the oil pressures, make sure nothing's out of tolerance, just so that we make sure every trip runs smooth. At Turn to Starboard, we use the acronym WOBBLE to remind you about engine checks. And if you know what each letter stands for, put them in the comments below. So we teach and encourage engine checks on some of our smaller training vessels. However, this is a bit of a dangerous area, so we don't often encourage people to come in here to do our hourly engine checks. That will be left to the crew on Spirit of Falmouth. However, if you are mechanically inclined or an engineer or curious, just come talk to me or one of the other crew and we'll be happy to show you around once we're at anchor or alongside. Right, it's a bit cramped and smelly in here, so let's get out onto the upper deck. Welcome back up on deck. It's a little bit windy today, so I hope you can hear me just fine. This is our helm. This is how we steer the boat in the direction that we want to go. There's always got to be somebody on the helm because we have no autopilot. This is our throttle. When we're using the engine, this is how we go forward and reverse. And finally, this is our compass. And this is what we use for navigation to get our bearing. So we've got a set of instruments in front of us that tell us about our engine parameters, our wind speed and angle, depth of water under the keel and speed over ground. So you might have seen this small boat hanging off the back. This is our tender and we use that to get ashore when we're at anchor. Ship's bell, don't ring it, you'll have to get around it.
So I mean you've got to get around.
Okay, so we covered engine and steering. We need some power though, so let's talk about the sails. So she's a pilot boat, originally designed to transport 2 pilots onto the boats coming into the River Mersey. The reason why she's so big just to transport 2 people is because as payment they take goods off the ships coming in. And as you can see, she has a pretty tall main mast. It's actually longer than the boat. So we're fully equipped with all the safety gear that we need to be commercially coded. Here we've got a 24-man life raft, which is equipped with all of the survival gear and water that we'll need. Come with me and I'll show you how we get the sails up. There's no winches on board, so it's all with human power. We do a technique called sweating and tailing. So you'll normally have 2 people on each side, which is 4 people just to get one sail up. There are 6 sails, so teamwork and organisation is really important. Will you come down and be part of that team? You're pulling back towards yourself and the tailer will take in the slack. So as you can hear, I'm quite out of breath. That can be hard work. It's much easier when there's 4 of you. So if you look up, you can see this is where we hang all of our mops to dry. No, I'm just joking. They're called baggy wrinkles and they protect the sail when we're fully downwind and the sail is out rubbing against the rigging. It stops it chafing. They're called baggy wrinkles. I have no idea why. If you know, please stick it in the comments below. Okay, so this is where we keep some of our spare sails. These are top sails, which fill the 2 gaps at the top. And underneath them, we've got 3 jib sails that we fly off of this bowsprit. The bowsprit goes fully out the front. We don't want to do that right now because we might upset Phoenix. These are called jib sheets. And the sheets just simply control the sail and they run back all the way back to the deck and tie off on a cleat. This is our anchor windlass, and it brings the anchor up once we've let it go down. It runs off the engine, off the back of the gearbox, and there's a hydraulic pump that circulates oil into this. This capstan on the side can also be used to get the bowsprit out. If human power alone can't do it, we can use hydraulics to help us. Climbing the rigging is one of the most fun things you can do on this boat, and we'll teach you how to do it. We have safety lines, ascenders, and a harness, so you're always clipped on and safe. And as you can see, the view is incredible. Thanks for joining us on our flagship Spirit of Falmouth for a brief tour. Will you be joining us on our next adventure? And if you've got any questions about anything I've spoken about today, please stick them in the comments below. And from all of us here at Turn Starboard, we hope to see you here soon on the water.